Question 1. Which of the following best defines the principle of indemnity in personal lines insurance? A. It ensures that the insured can profit from an insurance claim. B. It allows the insured to receive more than the actual value of the loss. C. It ensures that the insured is restored to the financial position they were in before the loss. D. It guarantees that the insurer will pay any amount the insured claims. Question 2. In New York, which of the following coverages is mandatory under a personal auto policy? PAP. A. Collision coverage, Part D. B. Uninsured motorist coverage, Part C. C. Comprehensive coverage, Part D. D. Medical payments coverage, Part B. Question 3. Mr. Johnson lives in New York and has a homeowner's insurance policy. A severe storm causes a tree to fall and damage his detached garage. Under which coverage part of his homeowner's policy would this damage typically be covered? A. Coverage dwelling. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage C. Personal property. D. Coverage D. Loss of use. Question 4. Which of the following is true regarding the principle of utmost good faith in personal lines insurance? A. It applies only to the insurer and not the insured. B. It requires both the insurer and the insured to act honestly and disclose all relevant information. C. It allows the insured to withhold information if it might increase premiums. D. It means that the insurer must pay claims regardless of the insurer's disclosure. Question 5. Which type of homeowner's policy provides the broadest coverage for owner-occupied homes in New York? A. HO1 Basic Form. B. HO2 Broad Form. C. HO3 Special Form. D. HO Negative for Tenants Form. Question 6. Under personal auto policy, PAP in New York, which part covers medical expenses for the insured and passengers regardless of fault? A. Liability coverage, Part B. Medical payments coverage, Part B. C. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage, Part C. D. Coverage for damage to your auto, Part D. Question 7. Mr. Garcia, a New York resident, has a personal umbrella policy with a $1 million limit. His homeowners and auto policies both have $300,000 liability limits. If Mr. Garcia is found liable for $800,000 in an auto accident, how much will the umbrella policy pay? A. $300,000. B. $500,000. C. $800,000. D. $1 million. Question 8. Which of the following coverages under a homeowner's policy in New York would cover additional living expenses if the insured's home becomes uninhabitable due to covered loss? A. Coverage dwelling. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage C. Personal property. D. Coverage D. Loss of use. Question 9. Which type of inland marine insurance policy would cover valuable personal items such as jewelry, fine art, and collectibles? A. Personal property floater. B. Personal articles floater. C. Personal effects coverage. Question 10. Which part of a personal auto policy, PAP, provides coverage for damage to the insured's own vehicle caused by collision or other perils? A. Liability coverage, Part B. Medical payments coverage, Part B. C. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage, Part C. D. Coverage for damage to your auto, Part D. Question 11. In New York, which type of homeowner's policy is designed specifically for older homes with replacement costs that exceed market value? A. HO2 Broad Form. B. HO3 Special Form. C. HO6 Condominium Form. D. HO8 Modified Coverage Form. Question 12. Which type of insurance policy in New York covers the insured's personal liability for bodily injury or property damage to others? A. Health insurance. B. Personal auto policy, PAP. C. Homeowner's policy. D. Personal liability insurance. Question 13. Which coverage under a homeowner's policy would pay for injuries to a guest who is accidentally injured on the insured's property? A. Coverage dwelling. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage E. Personal liability. D. Coverage F. Medical payments to others. Question 14. Under the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, in New York, what is the primary purpose of increased cost of compliance? A. Coverage. A. To cover the cost of temporary housing. B. To pay for flood damage to personal property. C. To cover expenses for bringing a flood-damaged building into compliance with local floodplain management laws. D. To reimburse for loss of business income due to flooding. Question 15. Mr. Patel owns a home in New York that is insured under a HA3 policy. A fire damages his home and some personal belongings. Which coverage would apply to the personal belongings? A. Coverage. Dwelling. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage C. Personal property. D. Coverage D. Loss of use. Question 16. Which of the following is NOT typically excluded from coverage under a standard homeowner's policy in New York? A. Earthquake damage. B. Flood damage. C. Fire damage. D. War and nuclear hazards. Question 17. Which part of a personal auto policy PAP in New York provides coverage if the insured is hit by a driver who does not have insurance? A. Liability coverage. Part of B. Medical payments coverage. Part B. C. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage. Part C. D. Coverage for damage to your auto. Part D. Question 18. Which of the following is true about a personal umbrella policy in New York? A. It only covers liability from auto accidents. B. It provides additional liability coverage above the limits of the insured's other policies. C. It replaces the insured's primary liability policies. D. It only applies to business-related liabilities. Question 19. Ms. Thompson lives in New York and has an HA6 policy for her condominium. Which coverage would apply to her personal property inside the unit? A. Coverage. Dwelling. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage C. Personal property. D. Coverage D. Loss of use. Question 20. Which type of watercraft insurance coverage in New York would pay for damage to the insured's boat caused by a collision? A. Liability coverage. B. Medical payments coverage. C. Uninsured boaters coverage. D. Physical damage coverage. Question 21. Which of the following perils is typically covered under a dwelling policy DPIT 3 in New York? A. Earthquake. B. Flood. C. Vandalism. D. Nuclear hazard. Question 22. Which of the following is a requirement for obtaining a personal lines insurance license in New York? A. Passing the National Flood Insurance Program NFIP exam. B. Completing a pre-licensing education course. C. Submitting a letter of recommendation. D. Having a minimum of 5 years of experience in insurance. Question 23. In New York, which of the following coverages under a personal auto policy PAP would pay for damages caused by a natural disaster such as a hailstorm? A. Liability coverage. Part of B. Medical payments coverage. Part B. C. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage. Part C. D. Comprehensive coverage. Part D. Question 24. Which of the following statements about uninsured motorist coverage in New York is true? A. It covers damages to the insured's vehicle caused by an uninsured driver. B. It is optional coverage that the insured can choose to add to their policy. C. It covers medical expenses and lost wages for the insured if they are hit by an uninsured driver. D. It only applies if the insured is at fault in an accident. Question 25. Which of the following is NOT covered under a personal umbrella policy in New York? A. Liability for bodily injury and property damage. B. Personal injury liability, such as libel and slander. C. Business-related liabilities. D. Legal defense costs. Question 26. Mr. Nguyen lives in New York and has a homeowner's policy with an endorsement for earthquake coverage. Which part of his policy would apply if an earthquake causes structural damage to his home? A. Coverage. Dwelling. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage C. Personal property. D. Coverage D. Loss of use. Question 27. Which of the following is a common exclusion under a homeowner's policy in New York? A. Fire damage. B. Theft. C. Flood damage. D. Vandalism. Question 28. In New York, which part of a personal auto policy, PAP, provides coverage for legal defense costs if the insured is sued after an auto accident. A. Liability coverage. Part B. Medical payments coverage. Part B. C. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage. Part C. D. Coverage for damage to your auto. Part D. Question 29. Mr. Smith lives in New York and has a personal umbrella policy with a self-insured retention, sir, of $1,000. If he incurs a liability claim for $50,000, how much will the umbrella policy pay after the SIR is met? A. $49,000. B. $50,000. C. $1,000. D. $0. Question 30. Which of the following is true about the risk management process in personal lines insurance? A. It involves identifying and evaluating risks, but not controlling them. B. It only applies to large businesses, not individuals. C. It includes identifying, evaluating, controlling, and financing risks. D. It focuses solely on transferring risk through insurance policies. Correct answer. C. It ensures that the insured is restored to the financial position they were in before the loss. Explanation. The principle of indemnity is a fundamental concept in insurance, which states that the insured should not profit from an insurance claim but should be restored to the financial position they were in before the loss. This principle prevents overinsurance and moral hazard, ensuring that the purpose of insurance remains the mitigation of loss, not financial gain. Correct answer. B. Uninsured motorist coverage, Part C. Explanation. In New York, uninsured motorist coverage, Part C, is mandatory under a personal auto policy. This coverage protects the insured if they are involved in an accident with a driver who does not have liability insurance. It ensures that the insured can receive compensation for injuries sustained in such an accident, adhering to state laws designed to provide financial protection to drivers. Correct answer. B. Coverage B. Other structures. Explanation. Damage to a detached garage would typically be covered under Coverage B. Other structures in a homeowner's insurance policy. This coverage part applies to structures on the residence premises that are not attached to the dwelling, such as a detached garage, fence, or shed. Coverage B is designed to protect these additional structures from covered perils, ensuring comprehensive protection of the insured's property. Correct answer. B. It requires both the insurer and the insured to act honestly and disclose all relevant information. Explanation. The principle of utmost good faith, or Virum Fides, requires both the insurer and the insured to act honestly and disclose all relevant information when entering into an insurance contract. This principle ensures that both parties have all necessary information to assess the risk accurately and avoid any potential disputes or issues during the claims process. Correct answer. C. H03 Special Form. Explanation. The H03 Special Form homeowner's policy provides the broadest coverage for owner-occupied homes. It offers all-risk coverage on the dwelling and named perils coverage on personal property. This means that the dwelling is covered for all perils except those specifically excluded, offering extensive protection to the homeowner. Correct answer. B. Medical payments coverage, Part B. Explanation. Medical payments coverage, Part B, under a personal auto policy in New York covers medical expenses for the insured and passengers regardless of fault. This coverage helps pay for medical and funeral expenses incurred as a result of an auto accident, ensuring timely medical treatment and financial support after an accident. Correct answer. B. $500,000 explanation. The personal umbrella policy will pay $500,000 in this case. The auto policy will cover the first $300,000 of liability, and the umbrella policy will cover the remaining $500,000 up to its $1 million limit. Umbrella policies provide excess liability coverage beyond the limits of underlying policies, offering additional protection. Correct answer. D. Coverage D. Loss of use. Explanation. Coverage D. Loss of use under a homeowner's policy covers additional living expenses if the insured's home becomes uninhabitable due to covered loss. This coverage helps pay for the increased costs of living elsewhere, such as hotel bills, restaurant meals, and other expenses, while the home is being repaired or rebuilt. Correct answer. B. Personal articles floater. Explanation. A personal articles floater covers valuable personal items such as jewelry, fine art, and collectibles. This type of inland marine insurance policy provides broader coverage and higher limits for specified items, ensuring they are protected against a wide range of risks, including theft and accidental damage. Correct answer. D. Coverage for damage to your auto, Part D. Explanation. Coverage for damage to your auto, Part D, under personal auto policy provides coverage for damage to the insured's own vehicle caused by collision or other perils. This includes both collision coverage, which pays for damage resulting from a collision with another vehicle or object, and comprehensive coverage, which covers damage from non-collision events such as theft, fire, and natural disasters. Correct answer. D. H08 Modified Coverage Form. Explanation. The H08 Modified Coverage Form homeowner's policy is designed specifically for older homes with replacement costs that exceed market value. Provides coverage on an actual cash value basis rather than replacement costs, making it more suitable for homes where the cost to replace may be significantly higher than the home's market value. Correct answer. D. Personal liability insurance. Explanation. Personal liability insurance covers the insured's personal liability for bodily injury or property damage to others. This type of insurance provides coverage for incidents occurring both on and off the insured's property, protecting against financial loss from lawsuits and claims for damages. Correct answer. D. Coverage F. Medical payments to others. Explanation. Coverage F. Medical payments to others under a homeowner's policy pays for medical expenses incurred by a guest who is accidentally injured on the insured's property. This coverage is provided regardless of fault and helps cover costs such as medical bills, hospital stays, and necessary treatments up to the policy's limits. Correct answer. C. To cover expenses for bringing a flood-damaged building into compliance with local floodplain management laws. Explanation. Increased cost of compliance. A coverage under the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, helps pay for expenses associated with bringing a flood-damaged building into compliance with local floodplain management laws. This includes costs for elevating, floodproofing, or relocating the building, ensuring it meets current standards and reduces future flood risk. Correct answer. C. Coverage C. Personal property. Explanation. Coverage C. Personal property under an H03 homeowner's policy applies to the personal belongings of the insured. This coverage provides protection for personal items such as furniture, clothing, and electronics against covered perils like fire, theft, and vandalism, ensuring the insured can replace or repair their damaged property. Correct answer. C. Fire damage. Explanation. Fire damage is typically covered under a standard homeowner's policy in New York. Earthquake damage, flood damage, and war and nuclear hazards are generally excluded from standard policies and may require separate endorsements or policies for coverage. Correct answer. C. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage, Part C. Explanation. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage, Part C, under a personal auto policy provides coverage if the insured is hit by a driver who does not have insurance. This coverage helps pay for medical expenses, lost wages, and other damages resulting from an accident with an uninsured or underinsured driver, ensuring the insured is protected even when the at-fault driver lacks adequate insurance. Correct answer. B. It provides additional liability coverage above the limits of the insured's other policies. Explanation. A personal umbrella policy provides additional liability coverage above the limits of the insured's other policies, such as homeowners and auto insurance. This policy offers extra protection against major claims and lawsuits, helping to safeguard the insured's assets and financial future by extending coverage beyond the primary policy limits. Correct answer. C. Coverage C. Personal property. Explanation. Coverage C. Personal property under a HOS-6 policy applies to the personal property inside the condominium unit. This coverage protects items such as furniture, clothing, and electronics against covered perils like theft, fire, and vandalism, ensuring the insured can repair or replace their personal belongings. Correct answer. D. Physical damage coverage. Explanation. Physical damage coverage under a watercraft insurance policy pays for damage to the insured's boat caused by a collision. This coverage includes both collision and comprehensive protection, covering damage from accidents, theft, fire, and other risks, ensuring the insured can repair or replace their boat. Correct answer. C. Vandalism. Explanation. Vandalism is typically covered under a dwelling policy DPIT 3, which provides all risk coverage on the dwelling. This means that the dwelling is covered for all perils except those specifically excluded, offering extensive protection for the insured property, including damage caused by vandalism. Correct answer. B. Completing a pre-licensing education course. Explanation. Completing a pre-licensing education course is a requirement for obtaining a personal lines insurance license in New York. This course provides essential knowledge and understanding of insurance principles, regulations, and practices, preparing candidates to pass the state licensing exam and perform effectively as insurance professionals. Correct answer. D. Comprehensive coverage, Part D. Explanation. Comprehensive coverage, Part D, under a personal auto policy pays for damages caused by non-collision events, including natural disasters such as hailstorms. This coverage protects the insured's vehicle against a wide range of risks, including theft, vandalism, fire, and weather-related damage, ensuring comprehensive protection. Correct answer. C. It covers medical expenses and lost wages for the insured if they are hit by an uninsured driver. Explanation. Uninsured motorist coverage in New York covers medical expenses and lost wages for the insured if they are hit by an uninsured driver. This coverage provides financial protection for the insured when the at-fault driver lacks liability insurance, ensuring compensation for injuries and associated costs. Correct answer. C. Business-related liabilities. Explanation. A personal umbrella policy does not cover business-related liabilities. This policy provides additional liability coverage for personal risks, including bodily injury, property damage, personal injury liability, and legal defense costs, but it does not extend to liabilities arising from business activities or professional services. Correct answer. A. Coverage. Dwelling. Explanation. Coverage. Dwelling under a homeowner's policy with an endorsement for earthquake coverage applies if an earthquake causes structural damage to the insured's home. This coverage provides protection for the physical structure of the home, ensuring funds are available for necessary repairs or rebuilding after an earthquake. Correct answer. C. Flood damage. Explanation. Flood damage is a common exclusion under a homeowner's policy in New York. Standard homeowners' policies do not cover damage caused by flooding, and separate flood insurance is required to protect against flood-related losses, typically through the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP. Correct answer. A. Liability coverage, Part A. Explanation. Liability coverage, Part A. Under a personal auto policy provides coverage for legal defense costs if the insured is sued after an auto accident. This coverage helps pay for legal expenses, including attorney fees and court costs, ensuring the insured is protected against financial loss from lawsuits related to bodily injury or property damage they caused in an accident. Correct answer. A $49,000 explanation. After the self-insured retention, sir, of $1,000 is met, the personal umbrella policy will pay the remaining $49,000 of the liability claim. The SIR functions similarly to a deductible, requiring the insured to pay a specified amount before the umbrella policy begins to cover additional costs. Correct answer. C. It includes identifying, evaluating, controlling, and financing risks. Explanation. The risk management process in personal lines insurance includes identifying, evaluating, controlling, and financing risks. This comprehensive approach helps individuals and businesses assess potential risks, implement measures to mitigate or control them, and determine appropriate financing strategies, such as purchasing insurance, to manage the financial impact of those risks. Question 31. Which type of homeowner's policy is specifically designed for renters in New York? A. HA2, broad form. B. HA3, special form. C. HA4, tenants form. D. HA6, condominium form. Question 32. Under a personal auto policy, PAP, in New York, which coverage would pay for the insured's injuries sustained in an accident caused by an underinsured driver? A. Liability coverage, Part B. Medical payments coverage, Part B. C. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage, Part C. D. Coverage for damage to your auto, Part D. Question 33. Which of the following is considered an additional coverage, ECA standard homeowners policy in New York? A. Liability coverage. B. Medical payments to others. C. Debris removal. D. Dwelling coverage. Question 34. Which of the following endorsements would be added to a homeowner's policy in New York to provide coverage for expensive jewelry, A. Water backup and sump overflow, B. Personal injury, C. Scheduled personal property, D. Replacement cost on contents. Question 35. In New York, what type of policy would be most appropriate for a single-family home that is not owner-occupied? A. Homeowner's policy, B. Dwelling policy, C. Renter's policy, D. Condo policy. Question 36. Which of the following is an example of insurable interest in personal lines insurance? A. A neighbor's house, B. A family heirloom owned by a friend, C. The insured's primary residence, D. The contents of a rented office space. Question 37. Under a personal auto policy, PAP, in New York, which of the following events would be covered under comprehensive coverage? Part D. A. Collision with another vehicle, B. Damage caused by a hailstorm, C. Medical expenses for the insured, D. Liability for injuries to others. Question 38. In New York, which coverage under a homeowner's policy would help pay for legal defense costs if the insured is sued for accidentally injuring someone on their property? A. Coverage dwelling, B. Coverage B. Other structures, C. Coverage E. Personal liability, D. Coverage F. Medical payments to others. Question 39. Which of the following statements is true regarding flood insurance in New York? A. It is automatically included in standard homeowners policies, B. It must be purchased as a separate policy, C. It covers damage from all types of water damage, D. It is only available through private insurers. Question 40. Ms. Lee lives in New York and has a personal auto policy, PAP. If she lends her car to a friend who has an accident, which policy provision applies? A. Non-owner coverage, B. Permissive use, C. Underinsured motorist coverage, D. Collision coverage. Question 41. Which type of inland marine insurance policy would cover collector's rare coin collection in New York? A. Personal property floater, B. Personal effects coverage, C. Personal articles floater, D. Valuable personal property policy. Question 42. Which of the following is not typically covered under a standard homeowner's policy in New York? A. Theft of personal property, B. Damage from a burst pipe, C. Earthquake damage, D. Liability for injuries to guests. Question 43. Which part of a personal auto policy, PAP, in New York would cover the insured's legal liability for injuries caused to other people in an auto accident? A. Liability coverage, Part B. Medical payments coverage, Part B, C. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage, Part C, D. Comprehensive coverage, Part D. Question 44. In New York, what is the primary purpose of the risk management process in personal lines insurance? A. To increase premiums for the insured, B. To identify and evaluate risks to minimize potential losses, C. To ensure compliance with state insurance laws, D. To maximize the insurer's profits. Question 45. Which of the following statements about the principle of indemnity in personal lines insurance is true? A. It allows the insured to profit from a loss, B. It ensures that the insured is restored to their financial position before the loss, C. It requires the insured to disclose all relevant information, D. It only applies to liability insurance. Question 46. Which type of homeowner's policy in New York provides named peril coverage on both the dwelling and personal property? A. HO1 basic form, B. HO2 broad form, C. HO3 special form, D. HO -5 comprehensive form. Question 47. Which coverage under a homeowner's policy would pay for the repair or replacement of a detached garage damaged by a covered peril in New York? A. Coverage dwelling, B. Coverage B. Other structures, C. Coverage C. Personal property, D. Coverage D. Loss of use. Question 48. Which of the following would be considered an example of what most good faith ICA personal lines insurance contract in New York? A. The insured only discloses known defects after a loss occurs, B. The insurer issues a policy without verifying any information provided. C. The insured provides complete and truthful information during the application process. D. The insurer raises premiums without notifying the insured. Question 49. Which of the following coverages is typically included in a personal umbrella policy in New York? A. Coverage for flood damage. B. Coverage for liability arising from business activities. C. Coverage for personal injury liability such as defamation. D. Coverage for physical damage to the insured's auto. Question 50. Which of the following is true about the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, in New York? A. It is administered by private insurance companies. B. It provides coverage only for residential properties. C. It is a federally funded program that provides flood insurance. D. It includes coverage for earthquake damage. Question 51. In New York, which part of a personal auto policy, PAP, would cover the insured if they are involved in an accident while driving a rental car? A. Liability coverage, Part of B. Medical payments coverage, Part B. C. Uninsured under insured motorist coverage, Part C. D. Collision coverage, Part D. Question 52. Which of the following would NOT be covered under a standard homeowner's policy in New York? A. Fire damage to the dwelling. B. Theft of personal property. C. Water damage from a burst pipe. D. Damage from a termite infestation. Question 53. Which type of insurance is designed to provide coverage for personal property and liability for individuals who rent their homes in New York? A. Homeowner's policy. B. Dwelling policy. C. Renter's policy. D. Condo policy. Question 54. Which of the following is an exclusion typically found in a personal umbrella policy in New York? A. Liability for bodily injury. B. Liability for property damage. C. Liability for business-related activities. D. Personal injury liability. Question 55. Which coverage under a homeowner's policy in New York would apply if a guest is injured on the insured's property and requires medical attention? A. Coverage. Dwelling. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage E. Personal liability. D. Coverage F. Medical payments to others. Question 56. Which of the following statements is true about uninsured motorist coverage in New York? A. It covers damages to the insured's vehicle caused by an uninsured driver. B. It is mandatory coverage included in all auto insurance policies. C. It only applies if the insured is at fault in an accident. D. It covers medical expenses and lost wages for the insured if hit by an uninsured driver. Question 57. Which part of a personal auto policy, PAP, in New York provides coverage for injuries sustained by the insured and their passengers in an auto accident? A. Liability coverage, Part of B. Medical payments coverage, Part B. C. Uninsured under insured motorist coverage, Part C. D. Collision coverage, Part D. Question 58. Which of the following is considered a moral hazard in personal lines insurance? A. Living in an area prone to floods. B. Having a high-value collection of art. C. Intentionally setting fire to one's own property. D. Owning an older home with outdated wiring. Question 59. Which type of homeowner's policy provides the broadest coverage for both the dwelling and personal property in New York? A. HA1 basic form. B. HA2 broad form. C. HA3 special form. D. HA5 comprehensive form. Question 60. Mr. Garcia lives in New York and has a homeowner's policy with a replacement cost endorsement for his personal property. What does this endorsement mean? A. His personal property will be replaced at its original purchase price. B. His personal property will be replaced at its current market value. C. His personal property will be replaced with items of like kind and quality without depreciation. D. His personal property will only be replaced if the loss exceeds a certain threshold. Correct answer. C. HA4 tenants form. Explanation. The HA4 tenants form is specifically designed for renters. It provides coverage for personal property and liability but does not cover the building itself, as renters do not own the structure. Correct answer. C. Uninsured under insured motorist coverage, Part C. Explanation. Uninsured under insured motorist coverage, Part C, provides coverage for the insured's injuries if an accident is caused by a driver who has insufficient insurance. This ensures that the insured is compensated for medical expenses, lost wages, and other damages even when the at-fault driver's insurance is inadequate. Correct answer. C. Debris removal. Explanation. Debris removal is considered an additional coverage in a standard homeowner's policy. This coverage helps pay for the cost of removing debris after covered loss such as after a fire or windstorm, ensuring the property is cleared and safe. Correct answer. C. Scheduled personal property. Explanation. The scheduled personal property endorsement provides additional coverage for high-value items such as expensive jewelry. This endorsement ensures that valuable items are adequately insured for their full value against covered perils. Correct answer. B. Dwelling policy. Explanation. A dwelling policy is most appropriate for a single-family home that is not owner-occupied. These policies are designed for properties that are rented out or otherwise not used as the owner's primary residence, providing coverage for the structure and, optionally, personal property. Correct answer. C. The insured's primary residence. Explanation. Insurable interest refers to a financial stake in the insured property. The insured's primary residence is an example of insurable interest because the insured would suffer a financial loss if the property were damaged or destroyed. Correct answer. B. Damage caused by a hailstorm. Explanation. Comprehensive coverage, Part D, covers damage to the insured's vehicle from non-collision events, including natural disasters like hailstorms. This coverage protects the vehicle from a variety of risks beyond collisions. Correct answer. C. Coverage E. Personal liability. Explanation. Coverage E. Personal liability under a homeowner's policy helps pay for legal defense costs if the insured is sued for accidentally injuring someone on their property. This coverage protects against financial loss due to legal claims for bodily injury or property damage. Correct answer. B. It must be purchased as a separate policy. Explanation. Flood insurance must be purchased as a separate policy, typically through the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, or private insurers. Standard homeowners policies do not cover flood damage, so additional coverage is necessary for protection against floods. Correct answer. B. Permissive use. Explanation. The permissive use provision in a personal auto policy, PAP, covers situations where the insured lends their car to someone else. If amiss, this friend has an accident, her policy would typically provide coverage, assuming the friend had her permission to use the vehicle. Correct answer. C. Personal articles floater. Explanation. A personal articles floater covers specific valuable items such as a rare coin collection. This type of inland marine insurance policy provides comprehensive coverage for high-value items, ensuring they are protected against various risks. Correct answer. C. Earthquake damage. Explanation. Earthquake damage is not typically covered under a standard homeowner's policy. Coverage for earthquakes usually requires a separate endorsement or a standalone earthquake insurance policy. Correct answer. A liability coverage, Part A explanation. Liability coverage, Part A, under a personal auto policy covers the insured's legal liability for injuries caused to other people in an auto accident. This coverage pays for medical expenses, lost wages, and other damages for which the insured is legally responsible. Correct answer. B. To identify and evaluate risks to minimize potential losses. Explanation. The primary purpose of the risk management process in personal lines insurance is to identify and evaluate risks to minimize potential losses. This process helps individuals and businesses implement strategies to reduce or mitigate risks, protecting their assets and financial stability. Correct answer. B. It ensures that the insured is restored to their financial position before the loss. Explanation. The principle of indemnity ensures that the insured is restored to their financial position before the loss without profiting from the insurance claim. This principle is fundamental in insurance to prevent the insured from gaining financially from a loss event. Correct answer. B. HO2, broad form. Explanation. The HO2, broad form, provides named peril coverage on both the dwelling and personal property. This policy covers specific perils listed in the policy, ensuring protection against a defined set of risks. Correct answer. B. Coverage B. Other structures. Explanation. Coverage B. Other structures under a homeowner's policy pays for the repair or replacement of structures on the property that are not attached to the main dwelling, such as a detached garage, shed, or fence. This coverage protects against damage from covered perils like fire, windstorm, or vandalism. Correct answer. C. The insured provides complete and truthful information during the application process. Explanation. Utmost good faith in an insurance contract means that both parties, the insurer and the insured, act honestly and provide all necessary information. The insured must disclose complete and truthful information during the application process, ensuring the insurer can accurately assess the risk. Correct answer. C. Coverage for personal injury liability, such as defamation. Explanation. A personal umbrella policy typically includes coverage for personal injury liability, such as defamation, libel, and slander. This policy provides additional liability protection beyond the limits of the insured's primary policies, covering various personal liability risks. Correct answer. C. It is a federally funded program that provides flood insurance. Explanation. The National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, is a federally funded program that provides flood insurance to property owners, renters, and businesses. It is administered by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, and helps reduce the financial impact of flood events. Correct answer. D. Collision coverage, Part D. Explanation. Collision coverage, Part D, under a personal auto policy would cover the insured if they are involved in an accident while driving a rental car. This coverage pays for damage to the insured vehicle resulting from a collision, regardless of fault. Correct answer. D. Damage from a termite infestation. Explanation. Damage from a termite infestation is not covered under a standard homeowner's policy. Homeowners' policies typically exclude coverage for damage caused by pests, including termites, as these are considered preventable through proper maintenance. Correct answer. C. Renter's policy. Explanation. A renter's policy is designed to provide coverage for personal property and liability for individuals who rent their homes. This policy protects tenants' belongings and offers liability coverage for injuries or damages for which they may be legally responsible. Correct answer. C. Liability for business-related activities. Explanation. Personal umbrella policies typically exclude liability for business-related activities. These policies are intended to provide additional personal liability coverage and do not cover risks associated with commercial or professional activities. Correct answer. D. Coverage F. Medical payments to others. Explanation. Coverage F. Medical payments to others under a homeowner's policy applies if a guest is injured on the insured's property and requires medical attention. This coverage pays for medical expenses regardless of fault, helping to avoid potential liability claims. Correct answer. D. It covers medical expenses and lost wages for the insured if hit by an uninsured driver. Explanation. Uninsured motorist coverage in New York covers medical expenses and lost wages for the insured if they are hit by an uninsured driver. This coverage provides financial protection when the at-fault driver lacks liability insurance. Correct answer. B. Medical payments coverage, Part B. Explanation. Medical payments coverage, Part B, under a personal auto policy provides coverage for injuries sustained by the insured and their passengers in an auto accident. This coverage helps pay for medical expenses regardless of fault. Correct answer. C. Intentionally setting fire to one's own property. Explanation. Intentionally setting fire to one's own property is considered a moral hazard, as it involves deliberate actions that increase the likelihood of a loss. Moral hazards represent risks arising from the insured's behavior, often involving dishonesty or unethical conduct. Correct answer. D. HO5 Comprehensive Form. Explanation. The HO5 Comprehensive Form provides the broadest coverage for both the dwelling and personal property. This policy offers all-risk coverage, protecting against all perils except those specifically excluded, ensuring comprehensive protection for the insured's home and belongings. Correct answer. C. His personal property will be replaced with items of like kind and quality without depreciation. Explanation. A replacement cost endorsement for personal property means that the insured's belongings will be replaced with items of like kind and quality without depreciation. This endorsement ensures that the insured can replace lost or damaged items at their current value, not their depreciated value, providing better protection. Question 61. In New York, which of the following types of insurance would provide coverage for a valuable art collection kept in the insured's home? A. Homeowner's policy. B. Personal umbrella policy. C. Scheduled personal property endorsement. D. Dwelling policy. Question 62. Which of the following coverages under a personal auto policy PAP in New York would cover the insured's vehicle if it is stolen? A. Liability coverage, Part B. Medical payments coverage, Part B. C. Comprehensive coverage, Part D. D. Collision coverage, Part D. Question 63. Which of the following is considered an indirect loss in the context of homeowners insurance in New York? A. Fire damage to the dwelling. B. Water damage from a burst pipe. C. Additional living expenses incurred while the home is being repaired. D. Theft of personal property. Question 64. Under a standard homeowner's policy in New York, which of the following perils is typically excluded from coverage? A. Fire. B. Lightning. C. Theft. D. Earthquake. Question 65. Which of the following describes the purpose of the insurable interest principle in New York's personal lines insurance? A. To ensure the insured receives a full market value for a loss. B. To prevent individuals from profiting from insurance. C. To provide coverage for speculative investments. D. To allow for the transfer of risk without verification. Question 66. Which coverage under a personal auto policy PAP in New York would pay for damages if the insured hits a deer? A. Liability coverage, Part B. Medical payments coverage, Part B. C. Comprehensive coverage, Part D. D. Collision coverage, Part D. Question 67. Which type of homeowner's policy in New York is specifically designed for condominium unit owners? A. HO2, broad form. B. HO3, special form. C. HO4, tenants form. D. HO6, condominium form. Question 68. In New York, what does actual cash value mean in the context of homeowners insurance policy? A. Replacement cost without deduction for depreciation. B. Replacement cost with deduction for depreciation. C. Market value of the property. D. Assessed value for tax purposes. Question 69. Which coverage under a personal auto policy PAP in New York would pay for injuries caused to others by the insured in an auto accident? A. Liability coverage, Part B. Medical payments coverage, Part B. C. Uninsured under insured motorist coverage, Part C. D. Collision coverage, Part D. Question 70. Which of the following is true about the fair rental value coverage under a dwelling policy in New York? A. It covers the repair or replacement of the dwelling. B. It provides liability coverage for rental properties. C. It pays for the loss of rental income if the rental property becomes uninhabitable due to a covered loss. D. It covers personal property of tenants. Question 71. Which of the following best describes a named peril policy in the context of homeowners insurance in New York? A. A policy that covers all perils except those specifically excluded. B. A policy that covers only perils specifically listed in the policy. C. A policy that covers perils based on the homeowner's location. D. A policy that provides blanket coverage for all types of risks. Question 72. In New York, which type of policy would be most suitable for a homeowner seeking the broadest possible coverage for both the dwelling and personal property? A. HO1 basic form. B. HO2 broad form. C. HO3 special form. D. HO5 comprehensive form. Question 73. Which of the following would be covered under medical payments coverage, Part B, in a personal auto policy, PAP, in New York? A. Medical expenses for the insured's passengers injured in an accident. B. Medical expenses for pedestrians injured by the insured's vehicle. C. Medical expenses for the insured if hit by an uninsured driver. D. Medical expenses for the insured's vehicle repairs. Question 74. Which of the following endorsements can be added to a homeowner's policy in New York to provide coverage for damage from sewer backup? A. Water backup and sump overflow. B. Scheduled personal property. C. Personal injury. D. Replacement cost on contents. Question 75. In New York, which of the following would be considered an open peril policy in homeowners insurance? A. A policy that covers specific perils listed in the policy. B. A policy that covers all perils except those specifically excluded. C. A policy that covers only natural disasters. D. A policy that provides coverage for liability risks only. Question 76. Which of the following would not be covered under the standard liability section of a homeowner's policy in New York? A. Injury to a guest on the insured's property. B. Damage to the insured's own property. C. Injury caused by the insured's pet. D. Damage to a neighbor's property caused by the insured. Question 77. Which of the following best describes the concept of risk management in the context of personal lines insurance in New York? A. The process of transferring all risk to the insurance company. B. The systematic approach to identifying, assessing, and controlling risks. C. The purchase of as much insurance coverage as possible. D. The avoidance of all activities that could lead to a loss. Question 78. Which of the following is true about the loss settlement provisions under a standard homeowner's policy in New York? A. Personal property is always settled at replacement cost. B. The dwelling is settled at actual cash value by default. C. The dwelling can be settled at replacement cost if certain conditions are met. D. Personal property is always settled at market value. Question 79. Which of the following best describes the coinsurance clause in a homeowner's policy in New York? A. A requirement that the insured shares a portion of the loss with the insurer. B. A provision that requires the insured to carry insurance equal to a certain percentage of the property's value. C. A clause that limits coverage to specific named perils. D. A condition that reduces the deductible for large claims. Question 80. In New York, which type of policy would be suitable for a person who rents an apartment and wants coverage for their personal belongings and liability? A. HO2 broad form. B. HO4 tenants form. C. HO6 condominium form. D. DP3 special form. Question 81. Which of the following is an example of a peril that would typically be covered under the risk coverage of an HO5 policy in New York? A. Wear and tear. B. Earthquake. C. Vandalism. D. War. Question 82. Which of the following is NOT typically included in the standard definitions section of a homeowner's policy in New York? A. Named insured. B. Insured location. C. Coverage limits. D. Mortgagee. Question 83. Which of the following is true about the New York State Insurance Department's role in regulating personal lines insurance? A. It sets premium rates for all personal lines insurance policies. B. It licenses insurance agents and brokers. C. It underwrites insurance policies for state residents. D. It sells insurance policies directly to consumers. Question 84. Which of the following would be considered a moral hazard in the context of personal lines insurance in New York? A. Living in an area prone to natural disasters. B. Failing to maintain a property adequately. C. Engaging in dishonest behavior to gain from insurance. D. Owning high-value items. Question 85. Which of the following statements is true regarding earthquake insurance in New York? A. Earthquake coverage is included in all standard homeowners policies. B. Earthquake coverage must be purchased as a separate endorsement or policy. C. Earthquake coverage is only available for commercial properties. D. Earthquake coverage covers all types of earth movement. Question 86. Which of the following best describes the principle of indemnity in personal lines insurance in New York? A. Insuring the insured profits from a covered loss. B. Restoring the insured to their financial position prior to the loss. C. Providing unlimited coverage for all types of risks. D. Allowing the insured to transfer all risk to the insurer. Question 87. Which of the following would typically be excluded from coverage under a personal auto policy PAP in New York? A. Damage caused by a collision with another vehicle. B. Damage caused by hitting a tree. C. Damage resulting from wear and tear. D. Damage from a fire. Question 88. Which of the following is a primary function of the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, NAIC, in New York? A. Setting premium rates for all insurance policies. B. Enforcing state insurance laws and regulations. C. Developing model laws and regulations for state adoption. D. Underwriting insurance policies for state residents. Question 89. In New York, which of the following would be covered under an inland marine policy? A. Damage to the insured's primary residence. B. Damage to personal property during a move. C. Damage to commercial building. D. Damage to rental property. Question 90. Which of the following is true about the replacement cost coverage in a homeowner's policy in New York? A. It provides coverage for the depreciated value of the damaged property. B. It covers the cost to repair or replace the damaged property with similar kind and quality without deduction for depreciation. C. It limits coverage to the market value of the property. D. It includes coverage for indirect losses. Correct answer. C. Scheduled personal property endorsement. Explanation. A scheduled personal property endorsement provides additional coverage for valuable items like an art collection. This endorsement ensures that high-value items are adequately insured for their full value against covered perils. Correct answer. C. Comprehensive coverage, Part D. Explanation. Comprehensive coverage, Part D, under a personal auto policy covers the insured's vehicle for non-collision incidents, including theft. This coverage protects the vehicle from various risks such as theft, fire, vandalism, and natural disasters. Correct answer. C. Additional living expenses incurred while the home is being repaired. Explanation. Additional living expenses incurred while the home is being repaired are considered an indirect loss. Indirect losses result from the direct physical loss and include costs like temporary housing and extra living expenses. Correct answer. D. Earthquake. Explanation. Earthquake damage is typically excluded from coverage under a standard homeowner's policy. Homeowners need to purchase a separate earthquake endorsement or policy to cover damage caused by earthquakes. Correct answer. B. To prevent individuals from profiting from insurance. Explanation. The insurable interest principle ensures that the insured has a financial interest in the property insured and prevents individuals from profiting from insurance. It requires that the insured would suffer a financial loss if the property were damaged or destroyed. Correct answer. C. Comprehensive coverage, Part D. Explanation. Comprehensive coverage, Part D, under a personal auto policy covers damages from non-collision events such as hitting a deer. This coverage protects the insured's vehicle from a variety of risks beyond collisions. Correct answer. D. H06, condominium form. Explanation. The H06 condominium form is specifically designed for condominium unit owners. It provides coverage for personal property liability and improvements made to the unit, while the condo association typically covers the building structure. Correct answer. B. Replacement cost with deduction for depreciation. Explanation. The actual cash value in a homeowner's insurance policy means the replacement cost of the property with a deduction for depreciation. ACV represents the value of the property at the time of the loss, considering wear and tear. Correct answer. A liability coverage, Part A explanation. Liability coverage, Part A, under a personal auto policy covers injuries caused to others by the insured in an auto accident. This coverage pays for medical expenses, lost wages, and other damages for which the insured is legally responsible. Correct answer. C. It pays for the loss of rental income if the rental property becomes uninhabitable due to a covered loss. Explanation. Fair rental value coverage under a dwelling policy pays for the loss of rental income if the rental property becomes uninhabitable due to a covered loss. This ensures that the property owner continues to receive income while the property is being repaired. Correct answer. B. A policy that covers only perils specifically listed in the policy. Explanation. A named peril policy in homeowners insurance covers only the perils specifically listed in the policy. If a peril is not named in the policy, it is not covered, making it essential to understand which risks are included. Correct answer. D. H05, comprehensive form. Explanation. The H05 comprehensive form policy provides the broadest possible coverage for both the dwelling and personal property. It offers all risk coverage, protecting against all perils except those specifically excluded, ensuring comprehensive protection for the insured's home and belongings. Correct answer. A medical expenses for the insured's passengers injured in an accident. Explanation. Medical payments coverage. Part B. Under a personal auto policy covers medical expenses for the insured's passengers injured in an accident. This coverage pays for necessary medical and funeral expenses incurred by the insured and passengers, regardless of fault. Correct answer. A. Water backup and sump overflow. Explanation. The water backup and sump overflow endorsement can be added to a homeowner's policy to provide coverage for damage from sewer backup. This endorsement ensures protection against water damage resulting from the backup of sewers or sump pump overflow. Correct answer. B. A policy that covers all perils except those specifically excluded. Explanation. An open peril policy in homeowners insurance covers all perils except those specifically excluded. This type of policy offers broad coverage, providing protection against a wide range of risks unless they are explicitly excluded in the policy. Correct answer. B. Damage to the insured's own property. Explanation. The standard liability section of a homeowner's policy does not cover damage to the insured's own property. Liability coverage is intended to protect against claims from third parties for bodily injury or property damage for which the insured is legally responsible. Correct answer. B. The systematic approach to identifying, assessing, and controlling risks. Explanation. Risk management is the systematic approach to identifying, assessing, and controlling risks. It involves evaluating potential risks and implementing strategies to minimize or transfer the impact of those risks, such as purchasing insurance or taking preventive measures. Correct answer. C. The dwelling can be settled at replacement cost if certain conditions are met. Explanation. Under a standard homeowner's policy, the dwelling can be settled at replacement cost if certain conditions are met, such as maintaining insurance coverage equal to a specified percentage of the replacement cost. This provision ensures that the insured can rebuild or repair the home without a deduction for depreciation. Correct answer. B. A provision that requires the insured to carry insurance equal to a certain percentage of the property's value. Explanation. The coinsurance clause in a homeowner's policy requires the insured to carry insurance equal to a certain percentage of the property's value, usually 80%. If the insured fails to meet this requirement, they may face a penalty and receive reduced compensation for a covered loss. Correct answer. B. HO4, Tenants Form. Explanation. The HO4, Tenants Form, is suitable for a person who rents an apartment. This policy provides coverage for the tenant's personal belongings and liability, ensuring protection for their possessions and legal responsibility for injuries or damages to others. Correct answer. C. Vandalism. Explanation. Vandalism is an example of a peril that would typically be covered under the low-risk coverage of an HO5 policy. The HO5 policy provides broad protection against all perils except those specifically excluded, such as wear and tear, earthquakes, and war. Correct answer. C. Coverage limits. Explanation. Coverage limits are not typically included in the standard definitions section of a homeowner's policy. The definitions section provides explanations of key terms used in the policy, while coverage limits are detailed in the declarations page or coverage sections. Correct answer. B. It licenses insurance agents and brokers. Explanation. The New York State Insurance Department, now part of the Department of Financial Services, licenses insurance agents and brokers. It regulates the insurance industry to ensure compliance with state laws and protect consumers, but it does not set premium rates, underwrite policies, or sell insurance directly. Correct answer. C. Engaging in dishonest behavior to gain from insurance. Explanation. Engaging in dishonest behavior to gain from insurance is considered a moral hazard. Moral hazards involve actions or behaviors that increase the likelihood of a loss due to the insured's dishonesty or unethical conduct, such as committing fraud. Correct answer. B. Earthquake coverage must be purchased as a separate endorsement or policy. Explanation. Earthquake coverage is not included in standard homeowners policies and must be purchased as a separate endorsement or policy. This additional coverage protects against damage caused by earthquakes and is necessary for residents in earthquake-prone areas. Correct answer. B. Restoring the insured to their financial position prior to the loss. Explanation. The principle of indemnity ensures that the insured is restored to their financial position prior to the loss. This principle prevents the insured from profiting from a covered loss and ensures fair compensation for the damage or loss incurred. Correct answer. C. Damage resulting from wear and tear. Explanation: damage resulting from wear and tear is typically excluded from coverage under a personal auto policy. Auto policies cover sudden and accidental events but do not cover the gradual deterioration of the vehicle due to regular use. Correct answer: C. Developing model laws and regulations for state adoption. Explanation: the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, NAIC, develops model laws and regulations for state adoption. These model laws help standardize insurance regulations across states, promoting uniformity and consistency in the insurance industry. Correct answer: B. Damage to personal property during a move. Explanation: an inland marine policy covers damage to personal property during a move. This type of policy provides coverage for valuable items and personal property that are often in transit or located away from the insured's primary residence. Correct answer: B. It covers the cost to repair or replace the damaged property with similar kind and quality without deduction for depreciation. Explanation: replacement cost coverage in a homeowner's policy covers the cost to repair or replace the damaged property with similar kind and quality without deduction for depreciation. This ensures that the insured can restore their property to its original condition without financial loss due to depreciation.